Functions in 2 minutes. A function is a relation in which each input is paired with exactly one output. A relation is a group of numbers. An input is an x-coordinate or x value, and an output is a y-coordinate or a y value. If I ask you if something is a function, your only answers are yes or no. The explanation is the same, always the same. You are a function because every input can only have one output. You're not a function because every input can only have one output. This sentence will answer any question. Let's take a look at an example. If you have a relation, known as a group of numbers, and you want to make sure that each input has only one output, then look at the x-coordinates. Look here. This x-coordinate is 6. Are there any other 6s? Here? Or here? Or here? No. Then that means this input only has one output, -2. We could also look at -4, 2, and -7. None of these inputs repeat. Therefore, they don't have more than one output. All of these numbers happen one time. If there are no repeating x's with different y's, then this is a function. It is a function because every input can only have one output. Let's take a look at a few examples. Determine if this relation is a function. Scan your inputs. Are there any inputs that have more than one output? None of these x-coordinates repeat, so this is a function. Let's try another one. Is this a function? -2, 0, 2, 3, 2. This coordinate repeats with a different output. That's not a function. If you're a function, every input can only have one output. One more time. Scan the x-coordinates. If anything repeats with a different output, then you are not a function. This can work with a table as well. Ordered pairs can be organized in a table, and you can scan the inputs by going down the x column. Remember, every input can only have one output. If your input has more than one output, you are not a function. Pause the video and give these a look. Do you know which ones are functions? Let's see how you did. Numbers 5 and 8 were not a function. Let's recap. A function means that every input can only have one output. That's always the answer. Sometimes the relationship is shown as a graph. If you want to know if an input has more than one output, you can use something called a vertical line. This vertical line can be scanned across the graph to see if it touches more than one point at a time. You'll notice as I scan my graph, I never touch it in 2 places. But over here, when I scan my graph, I touch it at the top and bottom. That means an input is repeating with 2 different outputs. Let's practice by using the vertical line test. Scan your graph. It never touches more than once. This is a function. Let's scan this next graph. You'll notice I touch it in more than one place, here at the top and here at the bottom. This is not a function. Now for the last graph. As we scan, I never touch it in 2 places at once. This is a function. When you touch it at 2 places at once, that means an input has more than one output. And a function means every input can only have one output.